Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8 p.m. on LA56.
We are on storm track tonight as heavy downpours bring flooding and damage to the Inland Empire.
We're learning new information about the LAPD officer who was killed in a crash just one day before he was set to report to a news station.
Friends and family turned out in a star-studded event to say goodbye to legendary comedian Joan Rivers. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jory Rand.
I'm Giovanna Lotta. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56. A day of wild weather as powerful thunderstorms unleashed heavy downpours across Riverside and San Bernardino counties. The torrential rain submerged cars and homes, coming down so fast, roads turned into rivers. The flash flooding even stranded many people in their cars. The storm also toppled trees and snapped power lines, leaving some people without electricity.
And we have team coverage tonight. Danny Romero is tracking the severe weather, but we begin with Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell in Riverside, where many are cleaning up a big mess.
Several parts of Riverside had some flooding problems during this afternoon storm, and this is one of the worst. You can see 2 vehicles are left submerged in the water here. These vehicles are trapped in several feet of water that flooded underneath a bridge at 14th and Vine near the 91 freeway. This happened after very heavy rainfall pounded Riverside this afternoon. The storm also caused some property damage. Residents waded through the water that flooded this property. The water built up quickly, flowing into a garage. Now, we're not yet sure how much damage that home sustained. And on Lime Street near Poplar, 2 parked cars were almost completely swallowed up by floodwaters. Neighborhood residents say this has happened in the past after heavy rainstorms because of a drainage system problem in the area. The water flowed downhill and filled the street in about 15 minutes.
Enough to where I couldn't see the house across the street from me. So, and they're about, 100 meters. I would say it was really cloudy, and it was sideways rain. It was coming in through the windows.
Cars here. I walked out to that car because it had lights on. I thought somebody was trapped in it. We called 911. No one was there. This car here, it started floating. It's still there.
And the water hasn't yet gone down here at 14th and Vine, and again, at least 2 vehicles are trapped here. In Riverside, Amy Powell, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Amy, thank you. And now for the latest on the thunderstorms, we check in with Danny Romero. He's got a first check of the forecast. Danny.
Thanks very much, Giovanna. And Jory, on a Sunday, let's check out the live mega Doppler 7000 HD. Quiet just a few minutes ago, and then just in the last few minutes, we see a couple of spots. I just want to show them to you. It's light rain coming down, with the light green indicated by that, just south of Wildemar, just west of Murrieta. Again, light green indicating light rain, just a little bit coming down right now, but it's just fired up, so we want to keep an eye on those kinds of things. Also, just a little bit north and west of that for Lake Elsinore, Mission Viejo, again, another fairly larger part, and even growing. There you go, a little more of that live mega Doppler 7000 HD showing you exactly where that rain is happening. Right now, it's stretching down near Lake Elsinore back towards Wildemar on the other side. Again, light green, meaning light rain right now. Also showing you another small spot just north of Valley Center, just south of Temecula, another area of some light rain coming down. Now, here's what to watch for. We have the warmth, the humidity still in place, so we've got the chances of flash flooding. So we put these flash flood watches up that are in effect until Monday night at 8 p.m. because until then we're going to have heat and moisture in place. So we're going to show it around Apple Lucerne Valley, up around the San Bernardino kind of mountains as well, Big Bear, under that flash flood watch at this time till Monday at 8 p.m. All those areas in green. Now, what that means for later on tonight and into the week ahead, I'll show you with a 7-day when I come back in just a little bit. Jory and Giovanna, and now it's all yours.
Okay, Danny, we'll see you then. Along the coast, high surf is still a concern. In Long Beach, crews were out today reinforcing sand berms for the storm surge from Hurricane Norbert. Norbert is now a tropical storm with winds of about 50 miles an hour. In addition to building up those berms, beach communities also prepared for the big swells by filling up sandbags and putting up plywood barriers. So far, there are no reports of damage. When severe weather strikes, send your pictures and video to our ABC7 app. You'll also get the latest updates on weather and breaking news. Just download our free Eyewitness News app to your mobile device.
The LAPD is in mourning after the death of yet another officer in a car accident. Eric Alcaraz was off duty riding his private motorcycle when he collided with a car in Torrance. Eyewitness News reporter Melissa McBride has reaction from the police department.
Eric Alcaraz joined the LAPD 18 months ago. Today was supposed to be his first day assigned to the West LA station, but the 24-year-old was killed in a motorcycle crash while he was off duty Saturday afternoon. It happened at the intersection of Western Avenue and 234th Street in Torrance. Police there say Alcaraz was traveling south on Western when he collided with a Kia Optima making a left turn. LA Police Chief Charlie Beck issued this statement saying, quote, "The entire LAPD is grieving the loss of a young officer killed in an off-duty traffic collision. Our hearts go out to the family, friends, and co-workers of this fine officer during this difficult time," end quote. Officer Alcaraz is the 5th LAPD officer killed in a traffic accident this year. Officer Roberto Sanchez died when his patrol car was broadsided by an SUV in Harbor City. Police say Officer Chris Cortijo was killed by a suspected drug driver who struck his police motorcycle. Detective Ernest Allen died when his personal car was hit by a cement truck on Loma Vista Drive in Beverly Hills. It's the same stretch of road where Officer Nicholas Lee was killed by a runaway garbage truck that slammed into his police cruiser. The LAPD says Officer Eric Alcaraz was a Marine Corps veteran. He leaves behind his mother and father. Reporting at the Southwest Station in South LA, I'm Melissa McBride, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Our thanks to Melissa. Turning to Linwood now, one man is dead, 2 others are injured after a drive-by shooting. The Sheriff's Department says gunfire erupted in the 2700 block of 110th Street just before 1 o'clock today. 3 men, all in their 20s, were hit. All were rushed to local hospitals. A witness who did not want to be identified says at least one of the victims is his neighbor, and he describes what happened.
There was a car that drove by and I guess started arguing with the 2 victims, and the shooting ensued, and so they took off. Ambulance paramedics were here. They closed the street.
Authorities say 1 man died at the hospital, another is undergoing surgery, and the 3rd victim is expected to survive. The Sheriff's Department has not released descriptions of the shooters or their vehicle.
Still no answers in the murder of a South LA nightclub owner. He was gunned down in the 2600 block of Crenshaw Boulevard. Police identified the victim as 48-year-old Keith Hassan. Family members say he owned the living room bar where there's now a small memorial of candles and flowers. Hassan was shot and killed last night in an alley near the club. Investigators say so far they don't have much to go on, but given how busy the area is, there must have been witnesses. They hope someone will come forward.
In New York, family and friends gathered to bid a final farewell to Joan Rivers. Many of the legendary comedian's famous friends were there along with her grief-stricken daughter and grandson. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the story.
The song New York, New York blaring from bagpipes down Fifth Avenue. A fitting end to today's memorial service honoring Joan Rivers.
Well, they closed up Fifth Avenue. You know how happy she would have been?
The Brooklyn native spent nearly 50 years sharing her caustic comedy with the world.
I was such a dog. To get me down the aisle, they threw a bone. You know what I'm saying?
Joking about everything, including how she wanted this day to be.
I want my funeral to be a huge showbiz affair with lights and cameras and action.
She got that Hollywood glitz and glamour she dreamed of here at Temple Emmanuel in New York City, with famous guests from Whoopi Goldberg to Donald Trump, a performance by Hugh Jackman, and lots of raunchy jokes kicked off by Howard Stern.
It was a bundle of laughs in there, I have to say. It was irreverent, it was off-color, it was just like Joan's humor.
Humor and tears for the 81-year-old who died Thursday after going into cardiac arrest during a routine procedure on her vocal cords. Her daughter Melissa saying her own private goodbye ahead of today's star-studded service that friends say was the perfect tribute to a woman who lived to make others laugh.
This is the way Joan would want to go out.
Celebrating a remarkable life as the State Health Department and City Medical Examiner continue investigating the circumstances of her death. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
Former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger will be back at the state capitol tomorrow for 2 public events. Schwarzenegger will appear with current Governor, Democrat Jerry Brown, at a symposium highlighting California's leadership in developing policies on climate change. Then Schwarzenegger will go to the Capitol Rotunda for a ceremony to unveil his governor's portrait. Schwarzenegger has since returned to acting after leaving office in 2011.
Congress will return from its 5-week summer recess tomorrow, and both Democratic and Republican leaders say they will prevent a government shutdown. Lawmakers plan to vote on a temporary spending bill to fund the government into the middle of December. And to make the process go smoothly, they plan not to vote on measures that will define the parties during the fall political campaigns.
This coming Wednesday, the day before the 13th anniversary of the September 11th attacks, President Obama will deliver a speech on the fight against the newest deadly terror group, ISIS. In an interview on Meet the Press today, the president made it clear the game plan does not include American soldiers in direct ground combat with the militant extremists.
This is not going to be an announcement about U.S. ground troops. This is not the equivalent of the Iraq War. What this is similar to the kinds of counterterrorism campaigns that we've been engaging in consistently over the last 5, 6, 7 years.
The president did add, however, that he suspects defeating ISIS will require resources above what we're currently doing.
It appears the ceasefire between Ukraine and those Russian-backed rebels may not be holding. Fighting broke out today in a village near the main rebel-held city of Donetsk in eastern Ukraine. Shellings set at least 2 houses on fire. One man whose house was shelled says rebels fired from a site near his home, which seems to have provoked the retaliatory attack that wound up destroying his house. One fighter says neither side is adhering to the ceasefire.
Malaysia's prime minister says his country is sending investigators to the site of the downed Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 in eastern Ukraine. They want to gather physical evidence to prove that the plane was in fact shot down, and they plan to do so before winter sets in. Malaysian officials also want to retrieve victim remains they say are still scattered across fields and return them to their families. The Boeing 777 was headed from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur when it was shot down July 17th, killing all 298 people on board. And almost 6 months after its disappearance, officials are still searching for clues as to what happened to Malaysia Flight 370. It dropped off radar on March 8th en route from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, to Beijing with 239 people on board. No debris of the Boeing 777 has ever been found, and investigators still don't know why it flew off course. After it lost radar contact, the plane continued to communicate with a satellite system showing it flew south over the Indian Ocean. International crews have not pinpointed the exact location the plane went down.
Coming up on Eyewitness News, the hunt is on for a mountain lion that attacked a 6-year-old boy.
And a planned marriage proposal becomes a life-or-death situation. We'll show you how a couple got stranded on a cliff for days just so a man could pop the question.
Plus, a growing wildfire in Yosemite National Park has prompted evacuations. We'll have the latest after this.
The hunt is on for a mountain lion that attacked a 6-year-old boy near Cupertino today. The boy was hiking with his family near a winery when the big cat came up behind him. Trails in the area are now closed. Sheriff's deputies and the California Department of Fish and Wildlife are trying to capture the mountain lion. They say the boy suffered moderate injuries and is recovering at Valley Medical Center in Santa Clara County.
A new wildfire has broken out inside Yosemite National Park, and it's growing fast. Check out this dramatic photo showing heavy smoke on the backside of Half Dome. They have erratic high winds in that area, and the flames are spreading fast. 400 acres have been blackened so far. Park officials are evacuating Little Yosemite Valley. Camping areas near Half Dome are also closed. 40 hikers on the Half Dome Trail were trapped and had to be evacuated by helicopter.
A life-changing proposal literally became a life-or-death situation.
Yeah, this is so scary. A man took his girlfriend hiking in Wyoming to pop the question, but they wound up stranded, going days without food or water and needing to be rescued. ABC's Sarah Haynes has the story.
Pulled out the ring and said, well, I'm sorry I can't get down on one knee because I'm scared I'll fall off this cliff, but will you marry me?
For Blake Furman and Alyssa DeVille, a trip up Wyoming's Blacktooth Mountain was nothing short of life-changing, but not in the way Blake had originally planned. On the way up, as the terrain became more unstable,
We got to the point of no return. The rocks just kept breaking.
their engagement weekend took a dangerous turn.
There was a couple times where Alyssa asked me specifically, like, do you think we're going to die?
I thought we were going to die.
The couple says choppers passed overhead only to keep flying, failing to spot them. And with her legs severely injured, Alyssa was stuck, forcing Blake to make the toughest decision of his life.
I knew we wouldn't survive another night, so I knew I had to try climbing down, and if I made it, I could save us both, and if I didn't, we would both have died anyways.
By sheer determination, he made it down.
I walked right up on the search and rescue guys, and I said, well, I need a helicopter.
Relieved, but facing the horror of possibly losing his fiancée, still in the wilderness, out of the rescuer's reach.
She was on the side of a cliff, well out of sight and reach from our access point. It was just absolutely brutal conditions.
Hours later, crews were finally able to bring her home. Oh, and the ring Blake was carrying? It made it down too, on Alyssa's finger.
Was ABC's Sarah Haynes reporting. Alyssa said yes to that marriage proposal. They have yet to set a date.
Wow.
And she also said no to any more mountain climbing.
Let's hope so.
If she's smart, she did.
Every
right.
anniversary party has to be on the side of a sheer cliff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Party for two.
Yes.
just those two. Oh, for us, guys, our mountain area is actually the spots we're going to see some thunderstorm action once again. Very active today, certainly, and we're going to see the same conditions in place again tonight into tomorrow. We'll go outside right now and check out the live Mega Doppler 7000 HD. Things have quieted down quite a bit from earlier today. However, there are still some spots to watch because, again, those factors are there. There's still heat. It's a very warm night right now. And, of course, that tropical moisture is still in the air. So we see some areas on the live Mega Doppler 7000 HD showing up with light rain right now around Lake Elsinore, Mission Viejo, Wildomar right here, just some light green indicating some light rain coming down at the moment. A little farther south of that, just north of Valley Center, south of Temecula, another area of light rain coming down right now. Thunder strikes not happening yet. Any strong thunderstorms not quite yet, but those factors I mentioned are still there. So that's why we still have these. Right here, flash flood watches are in order until tomorrow night at 8 p.m. because that humidity and heat will still be in play from Apple Lucerne Valleys over to Big Bear, the San Bernardino County Mountains, that too till 8 p.m. with those in play. Coachella, out here in Coachella, we're seeing there too. Those areas with that flash flood watch in effect till tomorrow night at 8 p.m. We look outside right now. Here's a Sunday night look at Laguna Beach. Our live HD camera shows a few clouds down there by the coastal spots. We're still warm inland, 86 right now here in the 8 o'clock hour for Ontario and Riverside, 84 for Fullerton, Santa Ana, 79 degrees right now, and cooler, quite a bit cooler at Oxnard, 67 degrees, Santa Monica, a little less humidity and cooler ocean air, so 73 there. And here's the changing weather over Southern California. The ridge of high pressure we've got, see, it's a circulation around it. That clockwise circulation moves like this and pulls up the tropical moisture we saw partly from Norbert way to our south and our west, and also some moisture from just tropical areas moving up from Baja and into Southern California, mountain and desert areas certainly, but also widespread enough to get to some of our valley spots and coastal valleys too. And here's another factor. Look how warm it stays tonight. These are the overnight lows, only as cool as 71 for Simi Valley, Santa Clarita, Palmdale. Then tomorrow afternoon highs, although down a bit numbers-wise, it's still going to be very warm and humid, feeling warmer with 91 Santa Clarita, 77 at Redondo Beach, 92 to Ontario. And we look ahead now. Our 7-day power back weather gives you still a chance of showers Monday and Tuesday, tapering off, of course. But then marine layer returns Wednesday. We now get back to more normal weather patterns by Thursday into the weekend. Pretty nice, warm 85s for the highs on Saturday and Sunday. Our valleys and the Inland Empire, still thunderstorm chances Monday and Tuesday. And then we dry things out, but stay warm. In fact, get warmer to 93 up to 95s, taking us into what should be a hot weekend on the inland spots. Mountain areas will be still under thunderstorms and flooding conditions for tomorrow and Tuesday. Still thunderstorm chances on Wednesday, and then we dry things out and warm things back up to the mid to upper 70s as we get to Saturday and Sunday. Our high deserts will be storming, and again, possible flooding there too for tomorrow. Still some tapering off thunderstorm action on Tuesday as well. And then we see some desert heat coming back, but without that tropical moisture. So as the numbers rise up to 96s by Thursday and into the weekend, desert 96s, hot and much drier than it has been the last couple of days.
That's a good thing.
There you go. Right?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Danny. Interesting story here. An unexpected source of water has been found during California's severe drought. It appears the Napa earthquake a few weeks ago set free torrents of groundwater. According to the San Francisco Chronicle, the water is making its way to the surface through new cracks created by that magnitude 6.0 quake. Water officials in Vallejo hope to capture some of the extra water, filling dry creek beds and streams. It is being tested to make sure it's safe for public consumption, but the bonanza won't last long. It's expected to dry up in 6 to 8 weeks.
The U.S. Postal Service is now offering Sunday home deliveries thanks to a deal with Amazon. The Sunday deliveries from Amazon began today throughout Northern California. Normal postal workers aren't doing the Sunday deliveries. Nearly 160 new temporary employees have been hired to deliver the packages. The Postal Service tested Sunday deliveries in the LA market, and it went over well, so now the rest of the state will have the same option. The post office expects to deliver about 30,000 packages today.
As the NFL season gets underway, one California team is fighting a bigger battle than anything on the field.
Still to come on Eyewitness News, we'll show you one player who has overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles.
Plus, another NBA owner being forced to sell his team over a racial remark. The details when we come back.
It's opening weekend for professional football, but here's a story about one young California football player who has overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. ABC's John Donvan has his inspiring story.
A story with the good ending you did not see coming was that of Jake Olson, who popped into the news some years ago as the kid fighting eye cancer.
We fought so hard, and yet cancer wins.
One eye was gone at 10 months old, and then at 12, the doctors told him he would have to lose the other one.
I said, Jake, how you doing, buddy? You okay? And he goes, yeah, Mom. He goes, you know what? He goes, this is just going to be a new stage in my life.
And Jake's one wish then, this kid who loved football, was to see one last USC game up close. Well, he got the wish. 1, 2, 3, this was Jake Olson's day on the field. But it was not his last.
Now I was going to have to give up that dream of playing on the field, and it just was something that being blind you couldn't do.
It's 5 years later now, and look at who's snapping the ball. It is Jake. And no, they did not save his other eye. He just figured out how to make it work. A high school senior now, Jake makes his way through the school day with some assists and the willingness of a coach to let him try.
We went through a number of drills, and I said, oh my gosh, there's no way this kid is ever going to learn how to snap.
It wasn't obvious it was going to work. It was figuring out the physical geometry.
I clap so he knows the distance.
The left guard taps Jake's leg, and it's whenever Jake wants to snap.
But Jake got it.
Father's down, the kick is up.
Looks like they need him, this teenager whose feel for the game may be unbeatable.
My heart pounds twice as fast every time.
And fits the picture of America Strong. John Donvan, ABC News, Washington.
Are you kidding me?
Great story. That is a great story.
Incredible. Well, still much more news to come here on Eyewitness News on LA56, including an update on that storm that swept through the Inland Empire today.
We'll show you the damage and tell you what you can expect for the rest of the night.
And a free health care clinic is coming to LA. We'll tell you how long people were willing to wait in line to make sure they'll get to see a doctor.
Plus, the wet weather is hampering some West Nile virus eradication efforts. We'll tell you all about it.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 8:30, the wild weather across the Inland Empire. Hello, I'm Giovanna Lotta.
And I'm Jory Rand. This is Eyewitness News at 8:30 on LA56. Powerful thunderstorms rolled across Riverside and San Bernardino counties today. The downpours were so heavy, flash flooding quickly engulfed roadways and poured into homes. Many drivers were stranded and had to be rescued from their trapped cars. The storms also toppled trees, snapped utility poles and power lines.
And we now know the name of the off-duty LAPD officer killed in a crash in Torrance. Eric Alcaraz was riding his private motorcycle yesterday when he collided with a car making a turn at Western and 234th Street. The department says he had just finished his first year making probation and was set to begin at a new division today. Alcaraz is the 5th LAPD officer killed in a traffic accident this year.
In New York, friends and family gathered to bid comedic legend Joan Rivers a final farewell. Bagpipers from the NYPD played New York, New York on the street as mourners filed out. It was a star-studded event. Howard Stern delivered the eulogy filled with raunchy jokes, and Hugh Jackman delivered a performance. Joan Rivers' daughter Melissa said her own private goodbye today. The 81-year-old Rivers died Thursday after going into cardiac arrest during a routine procedure at a medical clinic.
The picturesque community of Forest Falls has been taking a beating from this whopping storm system. Check out this video. You can see buckets of water pouring down the streets and starting to flood streets. About a month ago, thunderstorms triggered mudslides in Forest Falls, damaging about 30 homes. There are no reports of damage from this latest storm, but cars were splashing through water, rocks, and other debris picked up by the running water. And this is what it looked like in Hemet. A storm cell took aim at the community, pummeling it with heaps of rain in less than an hour. That, of course, led to flooding scenes like this. Water even got inside some homes and businesses. The CHP had to close Route 74 for a time. Officers say it was the combination of floodwaters, debris, and rocks on the road. Let's go now to Danny Romero, who's been tracking this storm all evening.
All right, thanks very much, Giovanna and Jory. You know, and things quieted down somewhat, but now kind of firing up once again. Again, the factors are still in place. Humidity in place. The heat still there. Even though the sun has gone down, still pretty warm temps. So we're showing some light rain coming down right now. On the live Mega Doppler 7000 HD, a pretty large swath of it going from Lake Elsinore through Temecula, Fallbrook, down to Bonsall. And that's light rain right now. The light green indicates the light rain amounts happening at the moment. However, at any point, because it's just so unstable, the air, we could see a thunderstorm pop up out of there. We're showing some light rain up around Santa Clarita right now as well. So with that in mind, I mentioned those factors that are in place. That heat and humidity gives us a chance for the flash flood watches. These are in effect right now through Big Bear up around the San Bernardino County mountains until 8 p.m. tomorrow night, because again, those factors will still be there. Also, we're still looking at Coachella Valley over here. We're looking at there too. We're looking at a flash flood watch in effect. Now, of course, that means the conditions are there for flash flooding, but not happening at the moment. The warnings are when there's actually flooding happening, but these could change very quickly. So we'll keep an eye on it through the night and then show what's coming up the week ahead with a 7-day forecast in just a bit. Giovanna, Jory, go ahead.
Danny, thank you, and keep it here on Eyewitness News. We could see more thunderstorms develop, and we'll stay on top of it for you. And if you see severe weather and can safely shoot photos or video, send them to us at video@abc7.com, and you may see them on the air.
Well, due to all the storm activity, Orange County is postponing its West Nile virus eradication efforts. The county was planning on sending out trucks in Santa Ana tomorrow to spray insecticide, but officials say the weather conditions for adult mosquito control are not good, and the spraying will take place when the weather improves. Orange County has seen a surge in West Nile cases. Last month, a Seal Beach woman died from complications of West Nile.
A free 4-day health care clinic is coming to the LA Memorial Sports Arena. Today, people lined up outside to get a wristband that will allow them to get free medical care. Eyewitness News reporter Darsha Phillips has the story.
So you're going to choose the date that you would like to come back. And
thousands lined up at the sports arena, hoping to reserve a time to be seen in next week's free health clinic.
Well, I'm coming to get dental because I am a veteran, but I don't have dental.
Many camped overnight to ensure they got a spot.
I get better service here once a year, so
might as well just grab onto it.
Today, people get a wristband and choose what day they want to be seen next week. They'll also pick what services they want, medical, dental, or vision. This is the third year in a row Care Harbor has put on the event.
I need vision.
Okay. And officials say even with Obamacare, they are still seeing large crowds.
It's worth noting that under Obamacare, dental is currently not included, and it so happens to be that dental services are some of the most popular services that people come to Care Harbor for.
Vision, you just need one wristband. Some here today say Obamacare is still too expensive.
Like, I went and signed up for it, but they still want to pay like $180 a month. I can't afford that.
I'm a full-time worker, and I cannot afford the medical benefits or anything.
The free clinic starts Thursday and goes until Sunday, but you must have a wristband to be seen, and only 4,000 are given out. Charles Johnson didn't get a wristband last year.
I'm at the front gate, watching the gate close on me. It was policemen pushing us back, and it was telling us, hey, it's over with, try next year.
And try again he did. This time, he made it through the gate.
A little joy made the past go away. I got it.
In Exposition Park, I'm Darsha Phillips, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Today, President Obama talked about the Ebola outbreak in West Africa. The president says helping contain the disease is a U.S. national security priority. He says the U.S. military will soon be helping set up isolation units and medical equipment for public health workers returning to this country from West Africa.
The death of a girl group singer, Simone Battle, has been ruled a suicide. The 25-year-old was found dead in her West Hollywood home on Friday. Her 5-member band, GRL, was originally a new version of the Pussycat Dolls and was featured on rapper Pitbull's hit song Wild Wild Love earlier this year. Battle is also a former USC song girl.
Another NBA owner is being forced to sell his team over a racial remark. Atlanta Hawks co-owner Bruce Levinson says he's selling his controlling interest in the team thanks in part to a racially charged email he wrote 2 years ago. ABC's Bazi Kanani has the details.
Atlanta Hawks owner Bruce Levinson apologizing tonight for making offensive comments about race in this email sent 2 years ago, but seen by fans for the first time today. I want some white cheerleaders. I want the music to be music familiar to a 40-year-old white guy. He even complained that the kiss cam is too black in a message to team management about how to sell more season tickets. Levinson says he voluntarily reported the email to the NBA this summer, announcing today he will step down, selling his ownership in the team just 4 months after publicly criticizing fellow NBA team owner Donald Sterling for his racist rant and refusal to apologize.
Donald Sterling, what he said, I'm his partner. I can't be partners with somebody who shares those views.
Why would Levinson come forward now, 2 years after this email first went out?
You know, I think we have to look at it as the NBA is still reeling from the Donald Sterling story. And in many ways, they know they just cannot get away with this anymore.
The NBA commissioner says the league is still investigating the circumstances of Levinson's comments, but calls them entirely unacceptable. Bazi Kanani, ABC News, Washington.
On the first Sunday of the NFL football season, a group of Native Americans are protesting the Washington Redskins team name. They held signs outside of Reliance Stadium today in Houston, Texas, where the Redskins were playing. One sign said, "Indians are human beings, not mascots." Several media outlets are beginning to refuse to use the Redskins name, finding it offensive to Native Americans. There has been a push for owner Dan Snyder to change the mascot. He says it's meant to honor Native Americans.
New at 8, Thursday marks the anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks, and today there was a special display in New York. The new exhibit at the September 11th Museum features a shirt worn by a member of Navy SEAL Team 6 during that mission to capture Osama bin Laden, plus a coin given to a CIA operative who played a key role in tracking him down. On one side of the coin, the date of bin Laden's capture. On the other, a red X.
We continue to track the wild weather hitting parts of Southern California.
Still to come on Eyewitness News, we'll show you some of the flooding people are dealing with tonight.
And if you love classic cars, Corona Del Mar is the place to be this weekend. We'll take you to a special car show next.
All right, new at 8, that's the Pay It Forward Volunteer Band. Today is National Grandparents' Day, and the group performed at 7 different nursing homes around the area. We caught up with them at the Woodland Care Home in Reseda. Their message is for seniors and family members to think ahead about family estate planning.
If you love cars, the Corona Del Mar Coastline Car Classic is a one-of-a-kind event. Our own car specialist Dave Coons was one of the MCs of the car show today. There were several unique and exotic automobiles on display, including one owned by the infamous gangster Al Capone. The Hennessy Venom GT, known as the world's fastest car, was there. It can reach more than 270 miles an hour, and there are just 29 of those cars in the world. Judges will decide the best of show.
Does Dave own one of those cars?
Dave Coons,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I
think
he'd
ride.
like to.
Okay.
He would like to.
The 68th Annual Mexico Independence Day Parade got underway in East Los Angeles today.
We brought it to you live on ABC7, and Danny and I had the honor of being your hosts. Today's parade set off along Cesar Chavez Avenue. It's the oldest and largest Latino parade in the U.S. City officials were part of the parade along with law enforcement, schools, and community groups. There was even a bit of an air show. The event celebrated the strong Mexican culture and heritage in our area. Actor Edward James Olmos was this year's Grand Marshal, and the madrina, or godmother of the parade, was our own Alicia Del Valle. The parade was followed by a festival next to Belvedere Park, and ABC7 is one of the sponsors of the parade.
And you guys looked great out there.
Thanks. We had a good time.
Wild weather hitting parts of Southern California.
Up next, we'll tell you what to expect for the work week. Danny Romero is standing by with your full forecast.
And in sports, it's opening weekend in the NFL. Kurt Sandoval has the highlights after the break.
More now on those thunderstorms that hit the Inland Empire this afternoon, flooding streets and neighborhoods in a hurry. This was the scene in San Bernardino near Waterman Avenue and Baseline Avenue. Storm drains were quickly overwhelmed, causing heavy runoff. The water pooling on streets caused trouble for many drivers. The storm even took down some trees, pulling branches into the street. The storm also packing strong winds, downed trees and power lines.
And a lot of flash flooding warnings and watches today. How are we looking tonight?
Yeah, there's still some of those are still in effect and will be with us for a while because it's hot, that tropical hot, the humidity, and of course the heat is with us as well. And all that moisture mixing together gives us chances of storms. Strong downpours too. We'll go outside right now and check the live Mega Doppler 7000 HD. And we can see right now that there are still some areas. Again, it changes so quickly. Like barely an hour ago, it was fairly clear. Things are kind of quieted down, but now kind of firing up once again here as we head into the early evening hours. So a lot of light rain indicated by light green spread from Paris through Lake Elsinore, Temecula, down to Fallbrook, down to Bonsall. And so we're seeing some light rain happening here right now, but it happened just that quickly. Hence, we're concerned throughout the nighttime hours. Up around the mountain areas, just again, this changed ever so briefly a little while ago. A lot bigger area of rain now. It's just small little scattered little showers just south of Big Bear here in the 8 o'clock hour. So still in effect will be these watches, and they're in effect right now because the factors are still there to make flash floods happen. So we're going to see them on mountain areas of San Bernardino County until 8 p.m. tomorrow. Coachella Valley also. All the areas there in the green will be under the flash flood watch, which means those factors are in place, but nothing happening imminently or at the moment. Now let's go outside. How about this? A live shot. Our Burbank Valley camera, a pretty good valley night happening. And the temps still warm. It's a balmy summer night for sure. 84 in Fullerton right now. We're showing an 83 in Burbank. Santa Clarita at 87 degrees. To the mountains we go. Wrightwood at 69. Big Bear at 62. Cooling down there somewhat. And it's the clouds in place, those tropical clouds. And you can see lots of it feeding up into Southern California, driven by this high with its circulation, pulling in that moisture from the east and from the west, from Norbert, what's left of Norbert now, off the coast, but still sending us waves and tropical clouds with moisture in them. Here we go, numbers tonight. Very warm night, so not a lot of recovery. So when tomorrow rolls around, we're seeing numbers in the 90s in many areas, so that heat, humidity mixing once again for tomorrow with 90s in Palmdale, 79 at Malibu, 91 in Riverside, 82 at Huntington Beach. So the 7-day power back weather shows you we're going to keep those chances of showers in place to start the week. But by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, a little marine layer returns in the morning, and the afternoons get sunny and more seasonal conditions. Very nice, 85s into the weekend. Valleys, Inland Empire, storm chances again tomorrow and Tuesday too. As it tapers off there, by Wednesday, Thursday, you'll feel that change. Less humidity and the heat rising up to 95 by Saturday and Sunday. Mountains will still have that chance of thunderstorms and flooding for Monday and Tuesday, tapering off on Wednesday, and then getting downright nice, 76, 75 by next Saturday and Sunday with less of that moisture in the air. Still hot, humid. In the deserts tomorrow, high desert will have some thunderstorm chances and flooding possibilities as well, and warm numbers, low 90s for Monday and Tuesday with that humidity in place. Feeling very tropical, but then it changes. Well, you get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, less of that humidity, more of the heat, the dry heat, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
The kind we're used to, Danny.
The kind we'd like to have, yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
All right, you got it.
Thanks, Danny.
Yep.
Well, time to talk sports as we approach fall. It's football season, but it also means there's some important baseball games on the way.
And speaking of heat, the Angels are incredibly hot. If you need proof the Halos offense is among the elite in Major League Baseball, consider this. On this opening week of the National Football League, the Halos put 2 touchdowns on the board. I kid you not, 4 pro football teams didn't score as much as the Halos did today. Yes, Mike Socha's team looking for a 4-game sweep and its 10th win in 12 games. Howie Kendrick's bat torched the last-place Twins to the tune of 10 hits, 2 doubles. That's a homer that's halfway up to Duluth. Then in the 3rd inning, it's Mike Trout launching one. Watch the kid in the front row. Talk about a souvenir. A home run that he catches from Trout. Howie had 3 of the Angels' 19 hits today. This liner in the corner brings home 2 more. Halos rack up 14 runs in a 4-game sweep of the Twins. They now lead the American League West by a full 7 games as they take it 14-4. At Dodger Stadium, A.J. Ellis bobblehead day, and A.J. got in the game a little bit later. Zach Greinke picked up his 14th win, but not before giving up a couple of runs. The former Giant Cody Ross, a base hit there, and Matt Kemp's throw is cut off. Pitcher Trevor Cahill throwing a no-hitter until Adrian Gonzalez's swing that started his Sunday lunch party. A 3-run shot, and it's 3-2. He hit 2 home runs today to hit 100 RBI for the 7th time in his career. So the Dodgers sweep Arizona, and they pick up a game of the Giants. They're up by 3, who lost in Detroit tonight. National Football League, that's MetLife Stadium, that is, where they played the Super Bowl last year. And it could be another long one for the Raiders. Case in point, against the Jets, Chris Ivory with a nice move. A little lack of humility on his way to the goal line, but gets in nonetheless, and the Jets bounce the silver and black 1914. Talk about a great kicker story. How about this? Exactly. This is the halftime of Carolina's game with Tampa Bay. Just moved a couple of guys aside, and if I'm kicking that, it's right in the side of the ear of a trombone player. Fortunately, these kickers are really good and they get the ball up. And by the way, the Jacksonville Jaguars did win that game, 19-14.
It's funny.
So the next time you guys are doing the news, I'm just going to kind of come right between the two of you.
Wouldn't be the first
Go
time.
for it.
It looked like you wanted to kick that ball into the trombonist's ear. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Thank
Kurt.
you.
My pleasure.
Well, new tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. Wind so strong it flipped over several planes. We'll show you more of the incredible damage. And he was born without fingers, but the heartwarming story of how this young boy got an Iron Man-like hand instead. Those stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
And up next, there's another lotto winner here in California.
We'll show you where the winning ticket was sold and have details on how many winners have been sold in Southern California over the past few months.
The new movie Dolphin Tale 2 held its world premiere today. The showing was at the Regency Village Theater in Westwood. A lot of stars on hand. Ashley Judd has a major role in the movie. She talked about the relationship between human beings and other living creatures.
In addition to the families into which we are born, we are given the grace and dignity in this life of choosing bonus family, and sometimes that family is animals.
Dolphin Tale 2 picks up the story of Winter, the rescued maned dolphin nursed back to health.
Guardians of the Galaxy continues to rule the box office universe.
There's one other name you might know me by. Star-Lord. Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Guys. The fourth weekend, the cosmic Marvel adventure takes the top spot. It earned an estimated $10.2 million. That puts it to nearly $295 million in its 6 weeks of release, making it the top grossing film of the year in North America. Despite Guardians' success, this marks the slowest weekend box office of the year. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came in second in its fifth weekend with $6.5 million. If I Stay, Let's Be Cops, and The November Man rounded out the top five.
A lucky day for the small high-desert community of Baker. Someone who purchased a lottery ticket there has hit a big jackpot. The ticket was sold at the country store in Baker. The ticket matched all 6 numbers in last night's Super Lotto drawing. It's worth $16 million. The store owner will receive a bonus check of $80,000 just for selling the ticket.
Party in Baker. Let's go, guys.
That's what you need to have a party in Baker.
And thanks for joining us tonight for Eyewitness News 8 here on LA56. Law and Order SVU is next.
Eyewitness News continues at 11 p.m. on ABC7 and anytime on ABC7.com. Thanks for watching. See you later.
In addition to the families into which we are born, we are given the grace and dignity in this life of choosing bonus family, and sometimes that family is animals. In addition to the families into which we are born, we are given the grace and dignity in this